Chewbacca's back! Unbelievable!
What are we looking at?
So I'm going to tell you how Han got the Millennium Falcon, but also became really cynical along the way. Here's Solo, a Star Wars story.
I got a really good feeling about this.
Good luck, Han Solo.
So when Han was like 19, he was working for this gangster, Lady Proxima, on the planet Corellia. And she's this big worm-like alien that has to be underground most of the time because she can't be exposed to sunlight. So she has all these orphans work for her in exchange for a home in the sewer.
Might want to quit while you're ahead?
He gets back from a deal that went bad, but he stole some hyperdrive fuel called coaxium. And this little vial is enough for him to escape the planet with his girlfriend Qi'ra.
Oh, a girl. Tell us about the girl, Han. Is she nice?
You can tell that they're in love because they kiss after every other sentence.
What are we waiting for?
When they try to leave, Proxima's goons catch them. But luckily, Han gave Qi'ra the coaxium, so they don't find it when they search him. They take him to Lady Proxima in all her erect penis-like glory, and he tries to explain to her why the deal went sour. But she wants to make an example out of him, so he throws a rock at a window that is apparently standard in all Corellian sewers, and this makes her face melt like she's a vampire.
I thought vampires sparkle in the sunlight.
You know, Twilight really shouldn't have been the first vampire story I told you. That one's on me.
Then why'd you do it?
I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
That's why, baby.
Anyway, since their boss is in trouble, all the goons go to help her, and not a single one think to grab the guy who did it.
What good would that do anybody?
So Han and Qi'ra get away, and they're trying to get to the spaceport, but Proxima's people catch up to them.
Well, I admire anyone who can crawl their way out of a sewer.
They almost get caught, but they make it to the checkpoint. Qi'ra starts to get scared, but Han swears he won't let her get sold to Crimson Dawn, and gives her his lucky dice to show this.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
They try to bribe the chick at the counter, but she wants payment before she lets them through the gate. But they want to give her payment after. And of course they don't realize that there's two of them, and one could go through and the other could give payment and then go through. But no, they waste time arguing, and as they go through, Kira's grabbed. And even though she took the payment, the chick at the counter alerts security that there's been a breach, so Han needs to move quick. But instead, he stays, promising Qi'ra that he'll come back for her.
Idiot.
And since he doesn't have a ticket to go anywhere, and no idea what their plan was after getting past the checkpoint, he joins the Empire.
Once we're through, we've got to be smart. Figure out where we're going.
Where the Empire isn't.
But since he's an orphan and doesn't have a last name, the dude puts down Solo. And that's how he got his name. Real original. Except later he says,
My dad worked the line at the CEC plant before he got laid off.
Meaning that he remembered his job, but not his last name.
You, close with your old man?
Not really.
But by joining the Imperial Naval Academy, he'll finally have his chance to be a pilot.
I'm a great pilot.
Nobody cares.
But he stupidly tells the guy he needs to get back here, when he can clearly see stormtroopers grabbing guys. I mean, hey, maybe the guy's got a quota to fill.
You know who I answer to, and you know what he'll expect of me.
So it's 3 years later, and Han's in the infantry, getting blown up. And after his boss is killed, he sees this guy Tobias Beckett, that apparently has never heard of taking cover, and doesn't die by being important to the story.
Happens more often than you'd think.
Han tells him that the officer died, and Beckett's now the commanding officer, and he commands them to go in the opposite direction of the fight.
We run.
Once they're safe, Han notices that they don't exactly act like soldiers.
We're not Imperial Army.
He tries to blackmail him into helping him, but that backfires.
Feed him to the beast.
Because of a beast?
They dump him in this caged pit with a very muddy Wookiee who tries to kill Han. He can speak a little Shiri-Wook and convinces him to break a post that will allow them to escape. Luckily, there are only 2 troopers that want to watch a Wookiee maul a guy, so they get away pretty easy.
See what happens when you listen to me?
Well, Han sees the ship that Beckett's team was stealing, and since they're chained together, he's got to convince him to come with him. Luckily, Beckett sees him and decides to pick him up at the last second, but mostly because this Ardenian Rio wants a Wookiee on the team. And even though the Wookiee is caked in mud from being in the pit for so long, Han thinks he should get a shower first.
Dick.
But Chewbacca decides that they can just share.
Hey, big fella. Just up, down. Take it easy.
So that means Han took a shower with Chewie before he even knew his name.
You're gonna need a nickname, because I ain't saying that every time.
So now you know why their bond's so strong.
Little close there, buddy.
So when they get to the job site, Val complains about Beckett recruiting him, and that she would rather dump him and get some people that they already know. But the job is tomorrow, so I don't know why she's just bringing this up now. Wouldn't they have recruited everyone before stealing the ship?
Well, maybe some of them died in the fighting.
Well, maybe, but they still need 5 people if they're going to steal a train car. See, Val's going to blow the bridge, Rio's the pilot, and Beckett, Han, and Chewie are attaching the cables. So when they start getting shot at, Beckett covers him while they detach the car that has enough coaxium to power a fleet. So if they didn't add these two to the team, I don't know how they thought they could do this all while being shot at. But just as they get away from the guards, pirates show up. And Val's pissed because she figured this would happen. But again, was the one who wanted less people. And Beckett said there's no way Enfys Nest knows about the shipment, but is the one who wanted more people. So a pirate boards their ship and shoots Rio, so Han has to reboard and fly. And then the pirates get some of their cables attached to the shipment too, after detaching some of Beckett's, so neither team has full control of the car when Val prematurely blows the bridge. See, she got pinned by some droids and blew the bridge before Chewie could uncouple the car from the train, and she dies.
So glad we took this job!
Spectacular way of killing us all, I'll give you that.
But at the last second, Chewie gets it, and now the two teams are playing the worst game of chicken ever, and they both lose.
Why?
Well, Han released his cables, and Enfys Nest couldn't control theirs, so it blows up. And Beckett is pissed, because he was hired by this crime syndicate, Crimson Dawn, the same people that Qi'ra was afraid of. So he tells Han and Chewie to just leave since Dryden Voss doesn't know about him, and he'll most likely kill them all for screwing this up. But they think they can still make money and take the chance that he'll kill him instead of finding another job.
I'm not afraid of Crimson Dawn. I can take care of myself.
They go to meet Voss on his ship, and Han runs into Qi'ra.
You look great.
Apparently, she works for Crimson Dawn now and seems to be doing just fine.
I see you've already met my top lieutenant.
And when they meet with Dryden, he wants to kill him, but Qi'ra convinces him otherwise.
Perhaps it's a compromise, one that doesn't involve so much killing.
They say that they can steal unrefined coaxium and get it processed and then give it to him. But he has a few problems with this. First, he thinks they're gonna blow themselves up.
Well, why would he care if they blow themselves up?
I don't know. I mean, he's about to kill him, so why not give him a shot?
For me, it's worth the risk.
But the other reason is that he has a truce with the Pikes, and he can't have the Pikes connect him to the theft. But Han and Beckett convince him that there's no connection to him, since the Pikes don't know that they work for him. So he agrees, and then says, take Qi'ra with you. So now if something goes wrong, there will be a direct connection to him.
That brand on your wrist tells me that you're committed.
So they have to get the unrefined coaxium from the mines on Kessel and get it to an abandoned refinery without it blowing up. So they need a really fast ship. And Qi'ra says she knows a guy.
He's the best smuggler around. He slipped through the Empire's fingers more times than anyone else.
He's an ace pilot, a poet with a blaster.
He's attractive, sophisticated, with impeccable taste and charisma.
Sounds like this fellow can do everything. Oh, yes, he can.
Lando. They're gonna go see Lando.
I like this kid.
But Lando's retired at like 22, so Han thinks he can win the Falcon in a game called Sabacc. He loses, but Lando still agrees to help him after some haggling.
I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But I accept it.
But first, they need to get his first mate, L3, to stop campaigning for droid rights. She's pissed that they don't serve droids and have them fighting for entertainment. And Lando puts up with her shenanigans because she has the best navigational system in the galaxy.
Lando has feelings for me, which makes working together difficult because I do not feel the same way about him.
We find out that Enfys Nest has followed him and has a tracker around the ship.
Now, how did they get a tracker on his ship?
Well, they saw them talking to Lando, so they had to ask around, find the ship, break into the impound lot, and place a tracker on it, all during the whole minute it took Lando to get L3.
Oh, please.
So the trip there is called the Kessel Run because there's only one way to get there, or you might blow up, get sucked into a black hole, or get eaten. So it is incredibly stupid that they wait until they're traveling through it to come up with a plan.
So what's the plan?
And it's even dumber that they spend most of the time arguing about who to trust. See, Han trusts them all, but Beckett tells him not to.
Assume everyone will betray you and you will never be disappointed.
Oh, so he's gonna betray him.
What? Why do you say that?
You told me that if somebody says you can't trust anyone, that they're gonna be the one they can't trust.
This is true. Although there is sometimes an exception if that person's dying. Anyway, they come up with a plan where Qi'ra pretends to be a slaver, and Han and Chewie are the slaves. And Chewie does not like this after actually being enslaved by the Empire, and being left in a pit to practically starve. But Han's kind of okay with it because Qi'ra gave him his dice back, so he knows there's still something there.
How would that work?
The Pikes take Qi'ra and L3 to the control room, while Beckett, who's pretending to be her security, has to wait outside. Han and Chewie disarm their guys, Beckett starts shooting everyone, and Qi'ra stabs the dude they're with. L3 then takes the restraining bolt off a droid and unintentionally starts a slave revolt.
Freedom! Do not improvise.
Han's pretending to be a guard, even though the now former slaves are attacking them, and Chewie gets distracted when he sees a Wookiee being ganged up on. But I don't know why all these guys are attacking one prisoner while all the other ones are fighting too.
See, that's racism. That's what Jesse Jackson was talking about.
So now Han has to move all these ridiculously heavy containers all by himself. Even though if this takes too long, they're all gonna blow up.
Oops, that's on me.
He finally gets them on a cart that he can barely move and is about to be attacked by a group of guards when Chewie and his new friend show up. So they take over and make it outside where the revolt is in high gear.
I created a distraction!
The Wookiees also load the coaxium on the Falcon, while Han and Lando provide cover fire. And once the coaxium is on board, the Wookiees want Chewie to go with them instead, but I really don't know why none of the slaves are trying to get on the Falcon. It's not like they have time to kick anybody off when they're in this much of a hurry. I mean, not even the Wookiee who loaded it tries to go with them.
Well, at least they're free. They can probably get away on other ships.
Maybe. I mean, they seem to know where they're going. But Chewie says goodbye to the other Wookiees, and they get ready to go, but L3 gets shot, and Lando rushes to save her. But she's too heavy, so Han and Chewie go to help. And when they get her on the ship, she dies. But at least she died knowing that she freed a bunch of droids and slaves, since freedom was so important to her.
I found my true purpose, Lando! That's what I've done!
But Lando's too distraught to fly, so he trusts Han to make the Kessel Run. But when they're on the path, a Star Destroyer is blocking the way.
That doesn't sound like something we want to be approaching.
Apparently, they're responding to the slave revolt, but I really don't know why when the Pikes are not Imperial.
I don't know what that means.
So now they have two problems, the Star Destroyer and the coaxium warming up since they took too long on the robbery. So Han decides to take a shortcut through the most dangerous area of space known to man.
Yeah, go that way and die.
They all think he's an idiot, but he thinks that if they put L3's consciousness into the Falcon, that they'll be fine. So now Lando has to choose between all of them dying and making what's left of L3 a slave for the rest of her life.
That sucks.
It does, especially when you realize that most of the slaves don't have enough time to get off the planet before the Empire gets there, so they'll probably just get enslaved again. So she probably did all that for nothing. But since her revolt is what drew the Empire there, and why getting the coaxium took so long, it's only fair that she provides the solution.
Oh, why? Because you're my organic overlord?
So Lando does it, and that's how Han was able to do the Kessel Run in 13 parsecs.
Not if you round down, buddy.
They get to Savareen and wait for the coaxium to be refined, but Enfys' nest shows up and wants to take it, so Lando bravely runs away.
No, Lando, get back here!
And the rest of them are like, we stole this fair and square, and we're going to sell it to some warlords, unlike you, who just want to steal it and sell it. You suck. And then the leader takes off their helmet to reveal a young red-headed black woman with freckles, and they're all shocked.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of badass women in the galaxy, so I'm not really sure what's different about this one.
Sorry, you do your thing.
But they also laughed at Han for saying he's a pilot before they saw what he could do, and that's just like driving on the freeway in this galaxy. So maybe it's just how young she is?
Well, how young is she?
I don't know, like 12? But she tells him that Crimson Dawn is bad, which we already knew, that they should betray him, which will get him killed, and that they ripped out the tongues of all the villagers on Savareen.
What do you think they're saying?
So their choices are, say no, we won't help you, and get killed, or give the coaxium to Enfys' nest and die.
You gotta be so negative.
So Han comes up with a third option that Beckett thinks is stupid and decides to run.
But before he said that he couldn't run and it was better to just face him.
Shut up. This time he knows he's gonna get killed. I mean, unless Han's stupid plan works. Which is to give Crimson Dawn fake coaxium and let Enfys' nest take the real stuff. And when they meet Dryden, he wants to know how they made fake coaxium look real. And they're all like, what? No, that's real. What are you talking about? But then Beckett shows up, and all the minions attack Enfys' nest. But all the canisters are empty because they gave Dryden the real coaxium. And then Enfys' nest ambushes Dryden's guys. And once Beckett realizes that he got screwed over, he kills Dryden's guards and makes Chewie take the coaxium. And while this is happening, Dryden and Han fight, but Qi'ra breaks in and knocks Han on his ass. And when Dryden comes over to brag, she stabs him, and he dies.
We should do this again. It's been fun.
She tells Han to save Chewie while she steals all of Dryden's crap. But as soon as he leaves, she calls Dryden's boss, Darth Maul.
What?
Oh, did you think he was dead? He was only cut in half and thrown down a bottomless pit. That is nothing. Anyone can survive that shit.
Looks worse than it is. Just gotta patch it up.
But he tells her that she works directly for him now and to bring the ship, while showing off his new lightsaber.
Nice, right?
I love it.
Back on Savareen, Han apparently ran really fast, or knew a shortcut on the planet that he's never been to, because he manages to intercept Chewie and Beckett. Beckett tries to lecture Han while he plans to shoot him, but Han shoots first, and he dies. He then looks up to see Qi'ra leaving him, and then Enfys' nest takes the coaxium, which they could have at least taken from Beckett while Han was fighting Dryden, but no. They make Han do all the work, and then they just leave him with one little vial, which is exactly what he started the story with. So Lando, Beckett, Qi'ra, and Enfys Nest all betray him and leave him stranded on this planet.
But we learned a very valuable lesson. We cannot trust those guys.
You could come with us, you know. You need warriors and leaders like you.
And all he has to show for all his hard work is Chewie.
To me, that's a lot.
So they decide to go get revenge on Lando for leaving them stranded, as well as cheating on their last game. So when they meet up with him, Han steals the card up his sleeve by pretending to be angry and pulling a sneaky. And then when Lando bets the Falcon, he can't cheat this time.
But what if he tried to use that card before he bet the Falcon?
Well, I guess he would be shit out of luck. But he doesn't. Now Han has the Falcon, and now he and Chewie are heading to Tatooine to do a job that Beckett told him about with Jabba the Hutt.
So I thought that went really well.
I need you to give me a reason not to kill you all.
We could like and subscribe.
I feel great about this plan.
You're putting our lives in the hands of morons.
We're not morons. Look, I waited a long time for a shot like this. I'm not about to screw it up, all right?
I told you! Very good friend!
Get the hell away from here any way you can, as fast as you can.
Hope I see you around sometime.